When the students of City on the Hill were told they'd be learning a lot this week, they had no idea they'd learned that Walt Disney was Latino and that one of our presidents was gay. Tonight, how these students are learning more than they ever expected. Plus, a rose may smell just as sweet by any other name, but would Special K taste the same? Anthony Rollins brings us his report on the naming of the two political parties. Finally, the all-important position of Speaker of the Assembly was chosen tonight, how the political fallout will affect the two parties, and the balance of power. Well, according to one California legislator, if you've never seen Mickey Mouse in Spanish, you're missing out on an authentic cultural experience. Hello everyone, I'm Joel Reedy, and you're watching the COTH Report for June 22nd, 2011. It was the longest day in the recent memory of anyone here at City on the Hill as the students made an unexpected trek down to Sacramento to see California democracy in action. The hearing of Senate Bill 48 was the opportunity for students to express their views and participate in the democratic process. City's own Paulo Savaha was called as an expert witness in opposition to SB 48, which would require all California textbooks used in public and charter schools to add lengthy articles about the homosexual lifestyles of famous historic figures. Savaha objected to the Assembly's focus on a partisan issue at the expense of minority students in failing schools.
As a Latino, I find those statistics absolutely repulsive. Yet this legislature is focusing on injecting controversial politics into the classroom, not my words, at the LA Times, rather than addressing the shockingly high and morally objectionable dropout rates, especially the dropout rates of minorities in this state.
The debate was heated, eliciting accusations of bigotry and closed-mindedness from sponsors of the bill. During the hearing, one legislator remarked that Walt Disney was an example of a Latino whose heritage has been overlooked by the historians who write textbooks. And the bill's sponsors explained that the reason America invaded Afghanistan and Iraq was to keep countries from interpreting their holy books too literally. The former point was not challenged, but the latter point was by Republicans on the committee. For the record, Walt Disney's father, Elias, was of Irish-Canadian descent, and his mother was German. The students were also given the opportunity to speak their opposition to the bill. The bill did finally pass committee, and it will be heard on the floor in the coming weeks. Before the legislators traveled down to Sacramento for this special hearing of SB 48, they had the opportunity to caucus with their political parties, to begin choosing their names, and also to take a look at their leaders and platforms. Anthony Rollins brings us a full report on the nomenclature of City on the Hill's two dominant political parties. Shakespeare asked, "What's in a name?" Nutritious bites of crunchy goodness, according to these assemblymen, whose party has chosen to name itself Special K. Cogent thoughts on the name's meaning were difficult to come by right after the official vote. What did you think of the party name?
Don't say anything.
I didn't vote for it.
Which connotations of the word special did you hope to embrace as a party?
Careful.
We're all special individuals, and we are here for a special cause, and we're all fighting for this.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Why K?
Because as
So then the K is representative of Governor England. That's what you're saying.
you could say that. You could say that.
You could or you do? That's the question.
I said you could.
You could say anything. I could
You
say that
could.
K stands for knowledge, but what does it stand for?
You could say it stands for knowledge too. I think
It's up to
I think
interpretation.
that's what is so beautiful about that name, is that it could stand for a myriad of different things. He thinks it stands for Karen. I could think it stands for
Why did we say it when
knowledge.
she wasn't in here? We said it when she was in here.
That's true. So maybe we were trying to make her think that we were sucking up to her when really. This is not on video. Cut this out. Cut this out.
Also, K is the first letter of my name also, so.
So really, it's named for you then.
No, it's also up to interpretation.
It's open to interpretation.
Yeah.
Whose interpretation? Anyone's?
Anyone's.
This is just embarrassing.
The minority party, on the other hand, quickly rallied behind their choice as one of deep meaning and sincere depth.
It means the new red because we're doing some things a little different than last time.
The New Rouge basically is standing for the fact that we're not simply standing for old conservative values, but we're taking it and looking at it through a biblical lens.
But if either party was trying to impress the governor with their name selections today, it didn't work. Evelyn Stacey, spokesperson for Governor England, weighed in on the governor's thoughts tonight.
It might have been presumptuous. If they're trying to favor up to her, then that's not probably the way to go. Special K is not her favorite cereal, even if the K stood for Karen. If they chose like Reese's Puffs or Cocoa Puffs, Maybe even Lucky Charms, that might have been a better way to go, but Special K, who eats Special K?
In the end, a name may sound like it's just a name, but by the end of this week, one of these names will be synonymous with dominance and the other with political futility. For CBC News, I'm Anthony Rollins. Nos vemos después de estos anuncios. Hello everyone and welcome back. Well, just when the students thought there couldn't be any more drama packed into one day at City on the Hill, Governor England called for the special session to elect the Speaker of the Assembly. Speculation began in the morning and continued all day regarding potential candidates for office. Confusion ensued in the New Rouge caucus room, where City Buzz star reporter and sole employee Paulo Sabaha asked the tough questions of the candidates.
Karen, you said you don't know what you're doing, yet you seek to lead an entire party, a major party.
I think that might be somewhat misquoted, but basically my stance was that this will be a new experience for me. But however, because I am a fresh and new person being able to lead this group, we'll be able to do this together. I'll be able to learn from you, and with us, I'll be able to listen to your ideas, and we'll be able to do that together.
How could you, as a member of the former opposition party, lead the New Rouge?
I've seen how they all work, and they're kind of crazy, but I know how they all work. I know all their ins and outs, and that's why you should vote for me, because I'd be able to, preempt everything they're going to do, and I'd be able to lead our party effectively.
In the real world, I am a conservative, yes, but these are paper bills that don't mean anything, so except for they're fun in city, and I'll say that to camera, and this better not go on the news. Basically, I want to hear what your opinions are, what kind of bills you guys want to go through, and I'll be trying to do that.
It depends on what you guys support, but my personal votes would reflect that.
It sounded like you guys were just saying, whatever you guys want, I'll be. But what are you right now?
In the general election for Speaker of the Assembly, ambiguity surrounded the candidates' answers early on, as Evan Gillespie spoke on pragmatism and effective policy.
I believe that I really should be voting by what my constituents ask, but at the same time, you have to balance it with things like biblical principles.
While Karen Anderson continued emphasizing,
We're going to be looking at this through a biblical perspective. Definitely, as I've been stating earlier, it will be through a biblical lens. And because of that, we'll need to be definitely looking at it through this, a biblical lens. I've already told you, we're looking through this as a lens through a biblical perspective. And, again, as I've been stressing over and over again, it depends on the morality of the issue. If this is something that I believe should be in legislature, then definitely I'll be pressing the bill no matter what side of the party it's on. They know that I'm a Christian and that I will be looking at these legislations through a biblical lens.
At first, the candidates' positions sounded nearly identical, but as the debate continued, the differences in position became clear.
Can we allow someone who's been shown to speak differently than she acts to be in a place of leadership?
I would say any parental rights issue, that's something that I'm going to be focusing on. I would say that a trustee is definitely important because you are motivated through your own worldview.
I really think voting for my constituents, because we are a representative form of government, is key.
I believe every decision that we make does affect the rest of our lifestyles. This could have an effect on the way he votes, so we definitely need to be looking at whether or not he is a dog or cat person in today's debate round, and I feel it's unfair that my partner refuses to respond to this.
In the end, Assemblywoman Anderson won over an effective coalition from both parties to seal her victory. How long can a coalition government prevail?
I've been giving you what my views are, and because of that, you should expect that they would align up. And if they didn't align up, then I would definitely expect you to be able to then vote in a new person. However, I don't believe that what I've been saying and what I will be doing are two different things. And because of that, I definitely believe that it's feasible that I can stay in office.
For CBC News, I'm Joel Reedy. Well, that's your news for June 22nd, 2011. But join us tomorrow night as we take a special look at some of the legislation being considered by this year's Assembly.